Hello everyone. My name is Junko, and today we'll be playing a game that I was recently suggested by Starvseveryone, and that game is Daimekoi, otherwise known as the most forbidden love in the world. Now, I didn't really get to read the description that much. I was pretty sleepy while I was suggested this game, so I just downloaded it as soon as I was suggested it, and I decided I want to make a video on it. So I don't know what I can expect out of this story. He also told me this game was created by the same person who created White Album 2. However, unfortunately, I never played White Album 2, so I don't know what I can expect. But enough of my ramblings. Let me not waste any more time and just get right into the game. Alright, let's start it up. Fate was such a convenient word. It could guide lovers into each other's arms, yet tear them apart just as easily. It could also force one's hands to conceal fraud at the order of a superior, all for the sake of the company. And for some people, their fate was to be discarded like a lizard tail. No matter how disastrous the situation, if one could simply vent their frustrations at an invincible being tugging on the strings of fate, things would be far easier. Unfortunately, I had realized the truth. It was not divine. It was not divine. Oh man, hold up. Oh wait, I skipped it. No. Oh my, this thing's not working. Hold up. It was not divine providence, but human treachery that led me here. Oh. I don't get to make the noises? Oh well. So now it's going to snow too. I realized that the snowflakes from those big gray clouds were increasing both in size and number. I first spotted a couple staring at the sudden but beautiful worsening of the weather, then a businessman hurrying back home, his indignant eyes fixed on the ground. Yet here I was, sitting on the side of the road, absent-mindedly gazing at those lucky pieces of condensed water as they floated through the sky. The white breath I exhaled must have reeked of alcohol. The cold made the night air a touch harder to endure, but at least it wasn't raining. I've long since lost the ability to find those snowflakes beautiful. Actually, if I still had it in me to react to such things, I should have directed my attention to far more pressing matters, such as, how was I supposed to go on living, now that I have lost every single thing I had? But was there even any point in trying to prolong my useless existence? Still, I felt like I was a bit too early in the evening to hang myself from a nearby tree. I'd probably be troublesome for a passerby if I just jumped off that tall building over there, and the season was too chilly to try and drown myself in the sea. And so here I remain, mulling over a list of pathetic excuses. I'm freezing. Oh! All of a sudden, a sharp pain jerked me back to reality. Oh, he's making the noises for me. For some reason, it affected not my heart, but my cheek. Actually, pain wasn't really the right word for it. Who's this? Huh? He wake you up. Eh? What? A woman was holding out the same can of coffee she pressed against my cheek a moment before. She was... Oh, I saw you at the pub. Back at that place, I used up the last pieces of paper weighing down my wallet to drown my sorrows. As I sat there alone, drowning drink after drink in an attempt to escape reality, there seemed to be a party going on at the table behind me, with this waitress at the center's everyone's attention.
みやこさん。
Miss Miyako?
ほのか
Oh, Hanaka.
すいません。
What? Oh, I'm
こ
sorry.
ちらは本名ですけどね
I'm trying to figure out if I should talk at the same time as him or after. Her hand, warmed by the coffee, lightly touched my cheek. I felt as though her fingers and voice diffused through my skin, reaching my very soul. Why?
どうして
Her abrupt gesture of kindness had thankfully managed to assuage my my welling despair, but the whole situation came so out of the blue that it simply left me confused. We did indeed share the same space until a short while ago. However, we exchanged neither words nor bodily contact. I was merely staring into my empty glasses at the counter as she entertained the rich-looking big spenders with her elegant smile.
といいこともありますから
Huh? As such, I never would have expected her to remember me, let alone address me directly.
だからそんなに落ち込まないで生きていれば頑張っていればきっといつか嬉しいことも見つかりますから
Eventually find happiness, huh? What? Even more unbelievable was the fact that she actually consoled me with words that sounded genuine and heartfelt.
ここは寒いからどこか暖かいところへ行きませんか
Where would that be? Eh? No way. This couldn't possibly be happening. Not only had she spoken to and consoled me, but what's going on? Fate was such a convenient word. Yet a man's life would always be shaped by his own choices, not the whims of some invincible guiding force. I knew that full well, but the only word I could use to describe our meeting was fate. Yoshimura Osumu, at 28 years old, on a winter evening. That was the beginning of my story with Inosaka Hanaka. Hanaka. Ta 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 ta. Ta ta ta. Ta ta ta.
ここだ。
It's here. A cherry blossom tree, its blooming flower petals flirting in the springtime wind.
つけた。
Finally found it. 10 minutes on foot from East Hagimori Station, a residential area almost completely isolated from the claymore of the city. It was here, at the street and address of East Hagimori 324, that I found a house whose decrepit-looking entrance plate had Terrace House Hinosaka inscribed onto it. She told me she also worked as the landlord of this apartment complex, but it didn't bring enough money to sustain her on its own, hence her other jobs. I recalled her cheerfully declaring that it was a small and rundown, but also a very important place to her.
ここが
So this is Miss Hanako's. I felt my heart rate increase and my palms grow sweaty. She told me to come visit her if I ever found myself in trouble. It had been 3 months since our fateful encounter. Her voice ranged with kindness and affection, whether she'll repeat the invitation. I wonder how she would react if someone like me, who'd only seen her 3 times over the past 3 months, came barging into her home. Would she greet me with a forced smile, while having a mental sigh of exasperation? Or would she not even bother and force me out with a stern
そん
expression?
なわけないよな。
That wouldn't happen, right? The bouquet in my right hand was trembling more violently than I would have cared to admit, while my left pocket, with my hand inside tightly squeezing a little box, was just about flooded with sweat. For a 5th meeting, a confession like this might come off as a little abrupt. Well, maybe not just a little, more like entirely. But if I was just to wallow in regret, I preferred being turned down to never having tried at all. It's not like I hadn't already spent 3 months torturing myself over the ladder.
行くぞ。
Alright, I can do this. I took a deep breath, cleared my throat, and upon inhaling another big mouthful of air.
ごめんください
Excuse me! My courageous shout ended up coming out as a pathetic squeak, just as I feared. Da, da, da.
ごめんください
Excuse me? This time, I forced out a more appropriate voice, one that actually managed to form a discernible sentence. Da, 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 da.
ごめんください吉村ですけど
Excuse me, it's Yoshimura?
留守
I guess no one's home. I took a step forward to confirm whether or not the door was locked. Oh, it's open. Huh? An automatic
ごめん
door?
くださいごめんください
Excuse me? Is anyone home?
そんな大声出さなくても聞こえてるって
Oh, who's that?
あれ
Huh? Was that an intercom?
恐れ入ります私吉村と申しますけれど、
Mhm. I'm sorry for bothering you. My name is
ど
Yoshimura.
こ向かって話してるのよ
Huh? What? Was she standing behind me?
いない
No one's here. Poke, poke. Huh? I felt someone lightly poke my back as I turned around. So there was someone at the entrance after all.
やっぱりいない
No, scratch that. Still no one.
嫌味
Who's this? Are you screwing with me? Ah. The face that belonged to the voice peeked out from above, my bouquet as it was suddenly yanked downward.
すいませんちょっと下の方が視界に入ってなくて
I'm sorry, I couldn't see you down there, and
しかも嫌味であることを隠さない
決してそういう意図による発言ではなく
what? I had no intention to disrespect or upset you or in any shape or form. Oh crap! The girl's delicate and refined face, situated quite a bit below my eye level, was tense with indignation, and her natural slanted eyes narrowed even further. It seemed to have accidentally upset her.
そりゃ確かにクラスのみんなと比べても小さいと思うよそれでも明治時代のこの年の平均身長と比べるとほんの少し低い
During
く
the
らいなんだ
Meiji
からね
era?
そうなんですか
Is that so?
それよりも非常識なのはそっちよだいたい身長いくつあるのよ
Well, I don't think you're wrong about that.
その昨年の健康診断では189センチだったかと
I think I was about 189 centimeters last year.
189?
はあ
Yes.
すいません
I'm sorry.
189引く45センチも高いの
Oh, we found out how tall she is now.
144センチですか
So you're 144 centimeters tall?
人のこと詮索しないでよ
すいません
I'm sorry. Really though, what other conclusion could I come to? Given an easy and linear equation like that.
じゃなかったでどちら様でしたっけ
Eh?
うちに何のご用でしょうか新聞なら間に合ってないけどいりません
Oh, are you her daughter?
違いますって新聞の勧誘みたいな厚かましい態度は生まれてこの方取ったことないですから
It's nothing of the sort. I've never even dared to imagine myself as a salesman. Besides, I had never heard of a business that would have their employees carry a bouquet of roses on house calls.
じゃあ
その私先ほども言いましたが
I've
吉村と申しまして
said this before, but I'm Yoshimura
そ
and
れで
実はそのこちらの大家さんである日野坂ほのかさんと 3ヶ月ほど前からお付き合いさせていただいてまして
Actually, I've been seeing Hinokosaka Hanuka, the landlord of this house, for about 3 months now, and
ママと
oh, I was right.
娘
You're her daughter? my mind couldn't keep up, or rather, I had probably frozen it on purpose. I mean, I assumed she was a few years older than me, but who would have thought she had fully grown? Actually, this girl was pretty small, but who could have guessed she had a child this age? 3 months.
今日はどうしてもそのお伝えしなければならないことが。
There was something I had to tell her today, no matter what. But I hurried past the point of no return. I was dead serious about this. So what if she had a small yet fully grown daughter? Something so trivial wouldn't get in the way of our feelings. Not to mention, my courage would probably take a leave of me unless I forced myself to think this way. I wasn't exactly the strongest willed individual around.
そんなわけで、そのほのかさんは。
Could you tell me if Miss Honoko-san is...
ちょっといい？
Huh? Before I could ask whether or not the woman I had been looking for was home, I found myself interrupted by this girl's now emotionless voice.
少しかがんでくれない？
Hmm?
は？
Huh?
こっち、顔近づける。
Show me your face, huh?
なんで？
What? Why?
いいから。
ああ。
Okay. I did as she asked. I couldn't help but notice how slightly slanted her eyes looked, just like Miss Honoka's. It made me realize that she really was her child. Oh shit! Damn! She slapped me out of nowhere. Eh? It all happened on a warm spring day with cherry blossoms petals scattering in the wind. Although in my case, the rose petals scattered in my face seemed a touch more imminent.
この真男！ママを返してよ！
What? Me a homewrecker? A homewrecker? What did I do? What? Yoshimura I can't pronounce his first name. Yoshimura Asumu. Asumu at 28 years old on a spring day. That marked the beginning of my life with Hinosaka Mituko, as well as the end of my story with Hinosaka Honoka. What you mean by that? My love is NG? I'm gonna shut up.
第1話45センチメートルの友情。
Alright, that was a pretty cool little opening. A friendship 45 centimeters apart, I think that's what it was called. I think I saw a rich girl, a businesswoman, a bar girl, and then it was Miss Honoko and her daughter. I can't wait to see what's gonna come. Alright, well, let me continue on. Little landlord, little landlord.
空いてる。
大変だ親ちゃん。空き部屋のはずの4号室で男が死んでる。主に社会的
A
に。
dead guy.
そうだね。
知ってるの？あの死体。
Who are you calling stiff?
知ってるかと聞かれればそんなに知らないとしか。
じゃあ片付けちゃおっか。
Huh?
丸ごと運ぶのは手がかかるからとりあえず分割して。
What you mean you're gonna cut me
ご
up?
めん、もうちょっとだけ死なせておいてあげて。私もちょっとやっちゃったところあるし。
はあ、経営者ともなると大変だね。
So wait, where's the mom? She's acting more like a landlord than her own mom. To Mitoko. It pains my heart to leave while you're still so young. I do not for a moment expect forgiveness, but I have faith that one day you will come to understand my decision. With that thought to sustain me, I will be able to press on. I'll grit my teeth and live my life. A few pages of excuses and self-justification follow. I met him about 3 months ago. He found his way to this shop I worked at one winter evening. It only took a few words for me to realize he was the one, that it was fate which had brought us together. A few pages of sapping boasting follow. I hope one day the two of you can meet, but now it's still a bit too early. He's the young leader of a huge organization and recently led a massive project to success. However, due to that, he has become a constant target of headhunting from other corporations, such as, per the advice of his company, he had decided to leave the public eye for the time being. I couldn't let him shoulder this burden alone. You understand how I feel, don't you? I will contact you once things have settled down. Please look after the terrace house Hinosaka in my absence. I love you more than anyone in the world. Signed, Mom. Damn. How dare... Damn. Why'd she leave her daughter behind like that? There wasn't even a single mention of me. There were some similarities in the location and general time frame of our encounters, but it was plain to see that the man described in this letter wasn't me. Actually, it felt almost surreal that she was consoling me about my inane daily troubles while simultaneously being so madly in love with someone else. In short, it was all in my head. I was the most miserably dense man in the whole world.
大地震とともに鍾乳洞が崩れ落ちて一族老頭ともども滅んでしまいたい。
I want to die. I'd be better off dead. I wish an earthquake would just bury me and all of my family members alive. Damn. No matter how many times I reread the letter, I couldn't find a single word affirming my feelings to her. I was just merely an acquaintance, nothing more. The thought I nearly rid myself of during these past 3 months that I wasn't needed in this world gradually crept back into my mind.
やっぱり僕はあの時に
Damn.
あの雪の降る駅前で凍え死んでいればよかったんだ。
I guess I should have just frozen to death in the snow that day after all. Fate was such a convenient word. A man's life would always be shaped by his own choices, not the whims of some invincible guiding force. But sometimes men weren't given the choice to oppose fate and change their lives. And at such times, I couldn't help but think that I was the most miserable man in the world. Give my mother back. There were those more miserable than me at this very house, and in a way worse situation to boot. I'm such a... And yet, in spite of how she lashed out at me, she was still considerate enough of my feelings to give me a room I could rest in. I'm such a fool. I rolled onto my back and gazed at the ceiling. Had I seen the ancient-looking stain as a child, I would have no doubt imagined it to be the dwelling place of an evil spirit. The thin plaster wall surrounding me seemed ready to collapse at any moment, and I doubted the window serves much of a purpose with its frame full of gaps. I wondered about Hinosaka's Mitoko. how she must have felt being left all alone to run a place like this.
開
Ah,
けてくれます
it's me to go. You could cut the tension between us with a knife. Embarrassed about how I acted at a moment ago, I couldn't bring myself to look her in the eye. A girl likely half my age was holding her own in such a trying situation, while here I was, a man in his mid-20s, wishing myself dead over a silly little rejection. Just remembering it made my face blaze red hot. I simply couldn't find the words to address her.
ごめんなさい
Huh? She's saying
そ
sorry.
それ
Yes, that's it!
だから謝ってるじゃんそんな風に怒鳴らなくてもさ
あ違う重大なコミュニケーション齟齬
No, that's not what I meant. There was a communication breakdown. It seemed as though the exaggerated theatrics of a quiz show was painfully out of place in this awkward scene.
コミュニケーション齟齬
要するに日常会話に訳すと謝らなくちゃいけないのは僕の方となりまして
In a layman's term, it means that I'm the one who should be apologizing.
どうしておじさんはただママを訪ねてきただけなのに
おじさんおじさん
Old man? Old man?
そこで話の腰を折られてよ
20代半ばなんだけどな
I'm still in my mid-20s.
20
Oh man,
いくつ
I had a yawn. So how old am I exactly?
だから半ば
I'm in my mid-20s, so 25? Hmm?
8
28. So I'm 28. What's half of 28? How old is this girl? Hold on, I'm gonna do math real quick. Let me pull up this calculator. 28 divided by 2. 14? She's 14 and she's running this apartment? Damn.
でおじさんはママを訪ねてきただけなのにいきなりあんなことしちゃって
本当に謝る気あるの
Is that your idea of a sincere apology?
何
いやだから悪いのは僕の方で
Nothing. Like I said, I'm the one at fault here, so... She could be kind of intimidating. Was she really Miss Hanuka's daughter?
そんなことない勘違いしちゃってごめんなさいだいたい冷静に考えたらママと逃げた相手がのこのこうちに戻ってくるわけないもんね
This again? And so, once again, I found myself the one being consoled.
ちょっと冷静さを欠いてたみたいこういう時こそ落ち着かなくちゃいけないのにまだまだだな私
Mm-hmm.
それは
Well, that really wasn't something for a girl her age to worry about. My sorry situation was nothing compared to how she must have
お
felt.
互いに落ち着かなくちゃね
I think we should both try to calm down, okay?
そうだね
Well, whatever. This was fine. I believed I was the only one at fault, but it wasn't my place to deny any responsibility. She might have been feeling
じゃあこれ仲直りの印に
reconciliation. I need to write these words down for later so I can understand what. Because I have never heard these words before in my life. Reconciliation.
何
What's this? That tray with a tea towel covering it had actually been bothering me for a while now.
それはね
She began to unwrap the tea towel.
お腹空いたよね朝から何も食べてないでしょ
A wrapped plate and a covered bowl rested on the tray. I removed the plastic wrap to find 3 rice balls and 2 slices of pickled daikon. Inside the bowl, there was steaming miso soup.
こっちから鮭おかか梅干しお味噌汁の具はわかめと豆腐と大根
Damn. Oh.
どうぞ冷めないうちに召し上がれってね
She exuded an almost palpable sincerity, her heart tender and clear like a crystal.
どうしたの？別に変なもの入れてないよ。
As such, I had to answer her in kind.
うん。それは分かってるんだけどね。
Yeah, I'm not worried about that.
けど、何？
実は、
To tell the truth, I...
もう、またうじうじする。もっとはっきり物言った方がいいよ、おじさん。
実は僕、お米のご飯が食べられなくて。いや、アレルギーじゃないんだ。でもパンだったら
Oh
食べられ...
man, now you're being picky. To tell you the truth, I can't eat rice. It's not an allergy or anything, but I prefer either bread or some. She's gonna slap you again, of course. Yeah, he was asking for it, so I don't blame her. Ta.
死にたい。死んでしまいたい。
I want to die. I'd be better off dead. Ta. What's going on here?
お前さんが悪い。いくら米が苦手だからってせっかくの施しをバカ正直に食えませんなんてそんなこと言うやつがあるかい。
Repeat voices? Oh, that's just rude. Well, you're in the wrong there. No matter how one looks as it, I don't know of anyone who refused such an obvious gesture of kindness just because of the food is not their taste.
しかし、僕は本当にお米がダメで、その匂いを嗅いだだけで。
だからってそんな断り方があるかい。そういう場合はだね。お、こら嬉しいね。うち
Yeah,
は家族揃ってこの握り飯ってやつに目がなくて、一つが
exactly.
二つ気がつけば三つ四つってな具合にポイポイっと口の中に放り込んじまうもんだから。ご先祖様も何人か喉に詰まらせてお亡くなりになっちまった人がいるようで、それでお袋が
Damn, he's still talking?
これ現在握り飯だけは食うんじゃないよ。命がいくつあっても足りないからね。と握り飯を喉に詰まらせて今はの際にそう言い残しましてね。いやー大好きなんですよ。
Oh my.
とか工夫の
What?
しようが
He's still talking? Oh my. Yeah, he could have just come up with that excuse. I feel like this whole sentence was not what he just said. Oh, it still goes on. I don't know what. Okay, it makes sense now. But one day my father ate so much he choked and passed away. Since that fateful day, I've been unable to stomach rice ball. Oh, that's quite an excuse right there.
おいおいご隠居飛ばさないの。
悪いね。昔落ち研の顧問になって以来ハマったらしくてさ。
To the Ragyoko Club?
あ
Oh yeah. The elderly man sitting in front of me wearing the Hayori was a tenant of room 1. Uosaka
昔はどっか
Kihei.
の大学の偉い先生だったらしいんだけどね。
それが発掘現場に捏造した石器の鏡を仕込んで女の子のスカートの中を覗いていたことが発覚して。
Oh, so he's a pervert.
は？
これバカなことをおいでないよ。教授と助教授が混ざってるじゃないか。
バカなことってのはそっちなんですか？
で、兄ちゃんご飯がダメだったら何が食べれるの？
あスパゲティとかピザとか洋食が。
Mm-hmm. Did you just call me a bro? It wasn't until middle school that I learned I couldn't eat certain things. Up until then, I wasn't even aware of the existence of Japanese cuisine. I guess I was raised in a pretty unusual household. My first fated encounter with rice could be attributed to a housekeeper whose face I no longer remember. The festering gooey mass got stuck in my throat and I ended up vomiting for the rest of the
家
day.
政婦この兄ちゃん坊ちゃんだよ。
I didn't even know.
ま、確かに背だけひょろ長いもんな。何の苦労もなく育ってきたせいじゃないのか。
よし決めた。お前さんは今日から若旦那だ。
Young
どうだ
master?
い？ぴったりだろう。
いえ、そんな大した家じゃ。ただ両親が揃って忙しかっただけで。
No, it wasn't like that. My parents were just busy. And they weren't on the best of terms either.
和食と洋食の争いはこうして中華で収めましょうってなもんで。おっと、リーチ行かせていただきますよ。
Now that I thought about it, I may not have had financial troubles growing up, but emotional support? That was an entirely different story. Maybe that's why I kept failing when it came to matters of the heart.
あら若旦那、一発で出ちゃったね。面単品一発イペ、親の満タンいただき
Matinpin
ますよ。
ipatsu ipetuka. What is that? I'll be taking those points off your hand. Eh? Da da da.
な
What
る
is
ほど
this?
会社ぐるみの不正を全部自分で被っちまったか。バカだね。
いえ、あの時は仕方なかったんです。そうでもしないと会社存続の危機でしたから。
Well, I had no choice at the time. The entire corporation might have been done for otherwise. What I did was not misguided. If I hadn't destroyed all of the evidence with the director's signatures, it wouldn't have been just me roaming the streets in search of a new job, but hundreds of others.
なあリストラ、あんたにいいことを教えてやるよ。
Yeah?
あなたにそう呼ばれる筋合いは。
I don't think you're in a position to call me
そ
that.
んなこと言わないで。
Huh?
私とリストラさんの
What
仲
the? He's making a girl's voice? What the?
だいたいリストラって呼ばれるのが嫌だったらさ、ちゃん
What?
と仕事して社会に貢献しなさいっての。
I'm not gonna scream. My voice is too sleepy for that right now.
不気味だろ。俺も未だになれない。
ハッツァンはね、声だけなら天才役者なんですけどね。
I'm kind of jealous.
役者？
大学にも行かずに劇団に入り浸って役者とか脚本書きなんてやってるんだけどな。何しろ女癖悪くて。
いやそれ説明台詞として成立してないか。
What is up with the people in this place? To my right, sat the master of this room, Yasunga Buntaro, a first-year student at some university, 3 years in a row now. Apparently, he was sipping beer through a straw in almost nirvanic peace. So we had a former professor, Rakuro, Ifignato, plus an actor who had genius-like talent for doing voices. This was quite the artistic boarding
まあ
house.
それはともかくだリストラ。
だから僕はリストラじゃなくて不正が発覚して解雇されただけで。
Look, it wasn't like that, okay? I was just fired because of fraud
それ
charges.
ってリストラよりもひどい扱いだよ。再就職だって世話してもらえなかった上に退職金代わりにくれたのは裏切り者の称号ってね。会社を救ったとかそんな自己満足は尻尾の勘違い。たい焼きくんがうまそうに食われて喜ぶなっての。人生は怒りと不満と性欲の爆発によって輝くんだよ。
Damn.
僕はそうは思わないけどな。笑っていられる人間が一人でも多ければ自分にも幸せが少しは回ってくる。
I'm kind of deciding where to voice the character, like all the characters. I don't know if I should just read all the characters' dialogues because they're quite saying a lot of things. Huh. I beg to differ. Personally, if my actions brought a smile to the face of at least one person, a little snippet of their happiness makes my life happier. Don't you think?
それ確かにあんたが救ったお偉いさんは今頃高笑いしてるだろうけどね。
僕はあの時流してくれた部長の涙を信じている。
Those tears that the president shed in front of me were genuine. I believe
じ
that.
ゃあ大家さんの新しい門出も祝ってやんなよ。逃げた二人が笑ってればリストラにも少しは幸せが回ってくるだろ。
それとこれとは。
That's different.
どうそれ面食い一通。お乗った乗った。よっしゃ羽だ。
え
Eh?
好きだったんです。
I loved her.
本気だったんですよ。
I was serious.
ま、わからないでもないけどな。あの人は態度がいちいち思わせぶりだから。
Mm-hmm.
昔ここにいた住人とかでも熱上げてたのは結構いてさ。その度にまあいろいろあったわけよ。
そうだったんですか。
I see. To me, who knew nothing about her besides our relationship, all the things that the tenant said came as a shock.
テラスハウス日の坂のおかみさんといえばこの辺りじゃ吐きだめに鶴の代名詞みたいなもんだったしね。私も いろいろと間に立って苦労したものさ。
ご隠居はいっつも騒ぐだけで全然役に立ってなかったけどな。
そうそう。大抵はニッチもサッチもいかなくなって、最後に大家ちゃんが頭下げて相手に出て行ってもらってさ、わざわざ引っ越し代まで渡すんだぜ。
Had that girl really been dealing with such adult problems since
それ
then?
でも、おかみさんと若大家さんは仲睦まじい親子でな。ほんと、よくできた娘さんだねってんだ。
Damn. That 14-year-old girl is a lot more mature than I thought. Yeah.
それはともかく、お願いだから皆さん故障を統一してくださいよ。
I see, but please, could you stop throwing out all these confusing names for everyone? Landlord, owner, young mistress, little landlord, Mr. Retired, Hanatsun, young master?
そうか。あなた、クマさんですね。
Right, so you were Kuma then.
なんだよ、やぶから棒に。
お、若旦那にしちゃ冴えてるね。
The man doing squats as he sipped his apricot liquor was allegedly the tenant of room 3, Kumazaki Kisoku. I could see why Mr. Retired would like this
ク
place.
マちゃんさ、数年前までは年1000万以上稼ぐ SE だったんだけど、何の因果か今じゃ引きこもりのネタ職人でさ。
寿司屋さん？
Huh? Are you running a sushi
い
shop?
や、わからなければいいんだ。ま、無理に知るような内容でもないしな。
And with that, he continued his squats. He didn't seem like a shut-in, at least in terms of appearance. I might have been taller, but his muscular build made him way more intimidating. Actually, did I even make sense to exercise while drinking booze?
というわけで、ローン、リーチ、3アンコ、トイトイ、ドラ、1、2、3。ああ、積もりたかったな。
Yeah.
倍満だけどな、親の。
Eh? I don't even know what we're playing.
安永くん。
Give me the call.
ああ、大家ちゃん、どうぞどうぞ。
Damn, down to 1,500 points?
どうも。
Hello. She's mad at me.
お邪魔してます。
Sorry for intruding. It seemed the second impression I made on her was even worse than the
いらっ
first.
しゃい。んじゃ、この半ちゃん終わったら2位が大家ちゃんと交代ね。
何してるのこれ。
いや、久々のお客さんですからね。親睦を深める意味で卓を囲んでるところで。
囲んでないじゃない。なんで日程と DS なのよ。
What the hell is she saying? On a not to, I don't even know what that
い
is.
や、これがね、侮れないんだって。1本ソフト買えば4人で通信対戦可能。
私のような年寄りにはね、どんな姿勢でも打てるというのはありがたいもんですよ。
そう、体を鍛えながらでも打てる。まさに健康志向時代の麻雀だね。
傍から見てるとすっごい言いようなんだけど。
I think we are a bunch of weirdos. That was what I wanted to
じゃ
say.
あマリオカート大会にする？それなら普通に盛り上がる。
What are you saying?
いい。ちょっとみんなに話があっただけだから。
Oh, what you gonna say? The girl Hinosaka Midako seemed to have decided to completely ignore my presence in the room. To be fair, I had only myself to
話と
blame.
は。
上坂さん今月分、安永くん3ヶ月分、熊崎さん半年分。
1
So,
month, 3
no,
months, 6 months. What is she talking about?
悪い
Ah.
んだけど、こっちものんびりしてられなくなったの。
Oh, the rat? With that, I finally understood what was going on. Even if the age difference was all backwards, she was still the landlord and they were still her tenants. Not to mention, they didn't sound like the most upstanding tenants either.
上坂さん、ご隠居はいつも期日通りだから信頼してるけど、
若上さん、心配しなさうな。
安永くん、前みたいに自分の劇団のチケットの現物払いはなしだからね。
明日耳を揃えて支払いますって。やだな、信用してよ大家ちゃん。
I don't believe this one.
で、熊崎さん、
Yeah, anything to say, Mr.
明
Kumazaki?
日俺も明日なんとかするから 神様、仏様、大家様。
本当に大丈夫なのみんな。
問題ない。
なんだか拍子抜けしちゃったな。絶対に払ってくれないと思ってたから。
Actually, I was quite surprised they even let someone get away with not paying rent for half a year. That must have been another manifestation of Miss Honoko's kindness. Or maybe this was simply that kind of
や
place.
だな、もっと住人を信用してほしいですね。
そうそう、困った時はお互い様だって。
分かってるから、今がどれだけ大事な時かってことはね。
分かった。みんなありがとね。
I could tell this girl was her daughter. She was smiling so honestly at the mere promise of receiving payment from a bunch of people who had been late for
それ
months.
じゃあお邪魔しました。続きをどうぞ。
I can't tell if it's night or day still. But not even the tiniest glimmer of that radiant smile was dedicated at me.
それとリストラさん。
Oh, there she goes, calling me Mr.
い
Laid
つからドアの前にいましたか？
How long have you been standing behind that door?
4号室にお布団敷いといたから。お開きになったらそっちで寝ること。
Eh?
近いうちに出てってもらうけど。ね。
Well, I guess I'm leaving tomorrow. Another unexpected attack. But this time, I felt no pain on my cheeks. Instead, I experienced something much deeper and more agonizing, spreading across my chest.
だから言ったろ、大家ちゃん本当はすごく優しい子なんだって。
言ってなかったですよ、そんなこと。
I don't remember you telling me that. Once again, it came so out of nowhere, I forgot to thank her. It was such a magnificent fella of an
さ
adult.
て、それでは
I was,
ラストスパート行きますか。
Mr. Retired spoke in a cheerful voice in the spell of the depressing atmosphere dominating the
よ
room.
ーし、逆転狙っちゃうよ。
Yasunaga
そ
joined
うそう
him,
気合い気合い。何しろ超高額レートの真剣勝負だし。
and so did Kamuza. Wait, what?
今レートがどうとかおっしゃいました？
Did you just say something about betting?
ああ、日の坂ルールの説明をしてなかったかな。1万点で家賃1ヶ月。
What?
今決めたでしょそれ。
You just made that up on the spot, didn't you?
やだな、リストラちゃん。行ったことない店に入るときはちゃんとルールを確認しないと。
Oh my. You're gonna drain me of everything I'm worth.
別に俺たち参加を強制してたわけじゃないし。
Alright. Hold on. I'll be back in a sec.
なったかったわ。
You people! Alright, I'm back. I had to go get something to eat because I didn't eat anything. But I'm back. You people. Oh crap. I remember hearing how collecting private debts could get even messier than business conducted by legitimate collections agency.
僕はそんなお金持ってないですよ。だいたいリストラが無職だって散々ネタにしておいて。
I don't even have that kind of money. I mean, your souls have been making fun of me because I'm unemployed. I could scream all I wanted, but would it work on them? And given my disastrous luck, I seriously doubted that I'll be able to turn this around with my rudimentary knowledge of Mojang.
ダメだよ、隠しちゃ。
何か。
What are you talking
さ
about?
っき言ってたよな、ズボンの左ポケットの中身。
In my pocket?
でも
But that's...
もう最初の目的を失っちまったんだろ。ここはパーッと使っちまうのが真の江戸っ子ってもんよ。
Edo period. Edo
岐
spirit.
阜の出身です。
I'm from Gifu though.
岐阜いいね。美濃っ子だの、ひなっ子だの、夜が明けたらすってんてんって。
男を見せる時だぞリストラ。みとこちゃんと俺たちと、そしてテラスハウス日の坂のためだ。
I gotta save y'all. How about y'all save yourselves? Give me a break here. They even knew where I was keeping it. I truly had the worst luck. Oh, the
固
ring.
定資産税。
Fixed property tax?
そう
500? Oh, we're losing.
年に一度の地主の憂鬱。
でも失礼ですが、ここの建物に それほどの資産価値があるとも思えないんですが。
やったなリストラちゃん、そんなの当たり前じゃん。築30年超トイレ共同風呂なしの平屋建てにマイナス査定以外の評価があり得ると思ってる？
Just a bunch of cheap rooms.
それじゃあ。
あんた、こ
What's
こ
the
に来る途
problem?
中、周りの景色ちゃんと見たかい？
周りっていえ別に。駅から近いのに静かだし、高いビルも建ってないし、道も綺麗だし、絵に描いたような高級住宅街だなって。
The scenery, not really. It was close to the station, but surprisingly quiet, and there were many tall buildings around. The road looked well kept. It looked like a place you want to build luxury homes at. 10 minutes on foot from East Hagamori Station. A residential area almost completely isolated from the claymore of the city. And all the other buildings I saw on the way here were quite obviously of a different breed than this decrepit boarding house.
この辺りの土地評価額が毎年うなぎ登りでね。当然ながらそれは税額に面白いくらい反映されるわけでして。
The building itself certainly seemed like it was about to fall down, but being a one-story apartment complex, it actually covered quite a bit of ground. In that sense, the Hinosaka household might have owned quite a fortune in land.
今までどうしてたんですか？
だから大家さん、大家ちゃんのお母さんが働きに出る必要があったわけよ。
なんか本末転倒な結果になっちまったけどな。
なるほど。
I see. They had to fight the ever-rising property taxes as well as their own living expenses, just two women all on their own. There was no choice but for Miss Hanako to look for another job, which led to many new encounters and ultimately the current tragedy of our hands.
そうならまだ母親に甘えたい年頃だっただろうに。おい、かわいそうだとは思わねえのかい？鬼かい？若旦那は。
Although,
もしかして皆さんがきちんと毎月家賃を納めていればこのような事態にはならなかった。
giving them that question, huh? Do you think the situation could have been avoided if you people had paid your rent on
明
time?
日は雨かな。桜が散っちまうから勘弁なんだけどな。
And they're ignoring it.
積むのかこの局面で？
何言ってんだよお前さん方は。どうしたい若旦那？
積もりました。国士無双13面待ち。日の坂ルールだとこれどうなりますかね？
How does this work under Hinosaka rule? A normal score or double? Apparently this is what you get when your luck hits rock bottom. I won? Let's go! As I returned to room 4 after the, I guess you call it a party, I did actually find a food unprepared for me. That girl Hinosaka Midoko really was too kind for her own good. I'd done nothing but upset her, and she still went out of her way to lend me her own futon. And how did I know it was hers? If I stretched my legs out, the damn thing was half of a meter short for me. Is it... Oh, it was day the entire time? I overslept. I only managed to fall asleep when it started to get bright outside. At first, I had trouble finding a position that would allow me the sheet to cover most of my body. And then came all the negative thoughts creeping into my mind. By the time I came to, the sun had already set. Making me yawn, Asumu. I had advanced through the darkening street of East Hagamori, shaking my still drowsy head. I wasn't really in any shape to leave the apartment, or more accurately, the boarding house today. I doubted the landlord would greet the news with a smile, and I felt genuinely guilty about causing her even more trouble, but being a walking nuisance was exactly what got me booted off this social hour to begin with. In any case, now that I'd taken a closer look at the neighborhood, I could understand what the residents of Terrace House Hinosaka were going on about yesterday. The houses in this area seemed to take up more land than our Terrace House, which was already quite big in its own right. I could spot 2 or 3 expensive looking cars in each of the garage, not to mention the security cameras on pretty much every single wall. Managing a rundown boarding house in this area most likely brought less profit than it would have a parking lot. Well, this wasn't really an area that people struggling with taxes could chose to live in. Huh? I spotted a red bicycle. It seemed almost uncannily low, parked by the entrance to a park. I had a vague recollection of seeing it somewhere before. Oh, it's her! Mitoko. I have to remember her name, I keep forgetting. There was a paperboy bag in the basket, along with a few leftover newspaper. She likely succumbed to her exhaustion on her way back to the shop right after finishing her deliveries. I had only known her for a day, but I was pretty sure my assessment was right on the mark. Still, I already got the impression when I saw her face on her first meeting, but her eyes were quite a bit different, but the overall outline of her face, her lips, her nose in particular, held unmistakable traces of the woman I had fallen for. In short, she likely given birth to an entire legion of tortured souls like myself once she grew up. Before I knew it, maybe because I blocked the sun caressing her forehead, she quivered and slowly opened her eyes.
お疲れ様。
Welcome back.
120円。
120 yen?
そのくらい。
Oh, you don't have to do
お
that.
金ないくせに。
そりゃそうだけど、
Well,
その
fair
くらいは
enough.
大丈夫。
But I think I can cover that much myself. Any more and I probably would have been in trouble though.
じゃあありがとう。
そういえば、
By the way,
いや、
nah,
なんでもない。
it's nothing.
いただきます。
I hope it's good. I found myself recalling how canned coffee had brought me and Miss Hanako together as well. It felt like a far-off memory by now, but it had only happened 3 months ago, if I recalled correctly. At the time, I had been a small can of black coffee. But now it was a larger can of milk coffee. On the winter night, the heat and bitterness went straight to my heart, but this time the warmth and the sweetness permeated my very
あの
bones.
さ、
ちゃんと学校には許可もらってる。
No, she got permission from the school. This girl was awfully shrewd.
春休みから。
Have you been doing this since spring
う
break?
んこっちはずっと前から続けてる。
こっち。
This one?
先週から駅前のお弁当屋も始めた。昔ママも働いてたところ。
So you took over after her. Last week? Because of a certain situation, she needed another
あん
job?
まり時給高くないからすぐに辞めちゃったけどね。でも私は夕方働いてるママを迎えに行くのが結構好きだった。おかずの残りとかも結構もらえるしね。
She made a vague smile before deciding to change the subject to something less
夕
depressing.
べはちゃんと寝られた？布団小さくなかった？
Huh?
快適だったよ。
Well, no, it was perfect. This time I wouldn't
なんと
complain.
いうか、
It had a
いい匂い
nice
がした。
smell.
い
Kinda creepy.
あ、お日様の匂い。きっと干したてだったんだろうなって。
I'm sure it's an acquired trait. I'm to blame for everything. Alright, that was, without a doubt, her own food on. I bet she wouldn't have lent Miss Hanako to a suspicious character like myself. It must have been a really tough decision to make for a girl her age. And to prove that, she was gritting her teeth at this very moment. Don't punch me, please.
そういえば、みんな家賃ちゃんと払った。
But by the way, did everyone pay their rent?
結局もう少しだけ待ってくれって。
Oh my.
そう。
I see. Does this mean I could expect another mahjong competition tonight? Don't like there was much point in trying to squeeze money out of someone like me though.
どうしたの？
いや、
N-
なんでも。
Nothing. I pulled my left hand out of my pocket and waved at her. Yeah. Silence fell upon us as our conversation came to an abrupt halt. After all, this wasn't a particularly noisy neighborhood. Especially around evening, we were the only ones at the park. I should head back to the boarding house with her, say my words of gratitude tomorrow, then board the train. I already moved out of my old apartment, and so as much as I hated the very idea, I would have to return to my parents' house for a while and think about what to do with my life. The few days I spent here were just a brief escape for the monotony of my life, nothing more.
あのさ、みとこちゃん。いや、みとこさん。
Mitiko,
その
I mean Miss
大
Mitiko,
家
landlord, Miss...
何
what?
呼びかけたのはそっちでしょ。
I wanted to ask why she let out such a deep sigh, but whatever.
差し出がましいようだけど、
Maybe it's not my place to say this,
差
but
し出がましいよ。
alright.
まだ何も言ってないけど、
I haven't even said anything yet.
じゃあ何か言った後に同じこと言うね。
税金払えないかもしれないんだって。
I hear you might not have enough for taxes. I mean, the tenants told me. I could take a bit of animosity after all. I was genuinely butting into someone else's affair.
それで君が無理してるって。全部背負い込もうとしてるって。
And you're trying to bite off more than you can chew. I mean, you're trying to show her this whole thing alone. And I knew I was in no position to help her.
もしかしたらみんなが心配しすぎてるのかとも思ったけど、さっきの君を見て本当だって分かった。
At first, I thought they might be worrying too much, but finding you here in the park, well, I realized their concerns were well-founded. After finding her sleeping in the park, no doubt exhausted from her part-time work, I couldn't just leave her without doing
君ぐらい
anything.
の年頃で一人で生きていくどころか、アパート切り盛りしていくなんて正気の沙汰じゃない。
It's already pretty crazy for someone your age to try to live on their own, much less run a whole boarding house. It's just insane. The more I put myself in the shoes of a wise adult, the angrier I become. Became. To the extent that I almost felt like hating the woman I thought I loved unconditionally.
捜索願いだそうよ。しばらくの間親戚にでも世話になってさ。
How about we file a missing persons report?
お母さんをゆっくりと待とうよ。
You can move in with your relatives for a while and wait for your mother to come back.
もし他人の力を借りたくないっていうのなら、せめてあの場所を
I don't think she's liking it. If you really don't want to rely on others, you could at least sell that place and...
もう一人であのアパートを維持するのは不可能だよ。賢い君なら
Oh man, wait, no. Okay, you can't possibly manage that boarding house on your own. You're a smart kid, so I'm sure you're already figured that out much by yourself.
どうかな。
Well, after taking the last sip from her can, she, Hinosaka Mitoko, fell silent for a spell. Her eyes, however, neither faded excitement nor clouded over the doubt as she slowly took in my words. She simply regarded me with complete calm, letting no hint of joy or sorrow color her
あの
features.
さ、
やっぱり差し出がましいっていうかい。
So you're going to repeat that it's not my place to say this and so on.
人の心配する前に仕事見つけなよ。
探すよ。
I will! Eventually. I ended up letting out a weird squeak. I wasn't used to raising my voice. I was a bit shocking to realize that my words failed to even have the power to upset her, much less change her mind.
私は大丈夫だとか心配しないでとか言う気もない。だってリストラさんは関係者じゃないから。
けど僕はほのかさんと。
But I'm Miss Hanako's?
ママはあなたのことなんか何とも思ってなかった。関係あるって思われてなかったんだよね。
Damn.
だから本気だろうと冗談だろうと変なおせっかい焼こうとか考えないこと。
It seems as though the slightly foul-mouthed and somewhat impulsive yet ultimately kind-hearted girl had
でない
vanished.
とママみたいに自分に全然その気がなくても。
それって
What? Only to be momentarily replaced by another girl, displaying a better, mature outlook on the world, one unbefitting her age? but painfully befitting her circumstances.
コーヒーごちそうさま。おかげで目が覚めた。
After saying all she had to say, she pulled her red bicycle to herself.
じゃあね。
And there she goes, back to the house, the boarding house. And there I was, left standing all alone in the park, unable to get a single word out. I'm going to save real quick. Because, what is this? It was not divine providence, but human tragedy that led me here. Is that right now? 14, 22, 14. I don't even know. I'm just gonna save right here. Okay. Okay. So let me just check right here real quick. Just gonna see the little settings here. Don't mind me. Ba 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 da da da. Sound. BBGM, position, voice skip, click on da 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 da. Na na na. Oh. Let this voice play by depending on the spare of the spare location. Is off. Voice will play of certain regardless of characters except the scenes are modified. Da da da.
ノーカット版放映希望。なんなら有料放送で
I
もい
wish
い
there
よ。
was a way that I can mute certain characters, but I don't think I can do that. I wanted to mute the protagonist, but it looks like that's not gonna be possible. So yeah. So I was saying, this looks like a great stopping point for today's video. I apologize. I wanted to finish all of chapter 1 in this video, but I woke up late and I have to get ready for work soon. So yeah, but I'm actually really liking this game. So thank you, Starvseveryone, for the suggestion. I think I'm I think I'm actually gonna continue making videos on this game. I'm very interested I'm very interested in what this story leads up to, and hopefully I get to see Miss Hanuko's again. Miss Hanako. I already forgot how to pronounce her name. I don't even know how to pronounce some of these characters' names, but yeah. If you like today's video, don't forget to drop a like. If you got any comments or suggestions you want to make, comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. If you want to continue watching me play this game, or you want me to watch, or if you want me to continue watching me play Amagami, Clannad, Silent Hill F, Undertale, and I already forgot the name of this game. The most forbidden love in the world. So, as always, everyone, thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.